This is JK Games, a game podcast where we bring you the news and reviews we care about.
And this season, we're playing through one game at a time with our official video game book club.
And
what happened to your accent?
I was like, she's back. I even moved my window around. I was like, she back? Nope, I still see the mullet. Whether you're the type to 100% every side quest,
or you're just here for the vibes and the story,
easy mode or expert, or that relative that you don't really want around at Thanksgiving, but they have to show up even though you really don't want them there, but they're still family, and they might try to pay you for shimmer behind the shed later on after Thanksgiving dinner. Regardless, I think we need to grab our snacks, Kayla. Oh yeah, I forget I'm not talking to Kayla.
Yes, it's Belinda. I don't know if I said that.
Belinda.
Right. So grab your snacks and let's break it down one level at a time.
Oh my God.
You know, I do want to provide entertainment for the people. So I do have a podcast persona I can put on when I need to. That was just the pre-show. Y'all aren't even ready for what's next.
Oh my God.
Yes. But Jerica, why we're here today? What are we doing? Why are we here?
I feel like I'm on another planet. Did I?
Betsy's on another planet. You're out here on Earth.
I feel like I've went into an alternate reality, and I'm having to really convince Victor not to. Don't give the hex core crystal to that guy with the mullet. Don't give it to him, because this is what we end up with. Howdy, I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jerica. Tonight's episode is very special, evidently, to me and to what I'm experiencing right now. Yesterday is my birthday, so this is a birthday episode, and I'm getting celebrated by these two lovely folks that are joining me. Really great mullets. I'm really sad I couldn't participate.
You can. It's not too late. You can always. Yeah.
We'll see how it gets later as we revisit something that's really personal to me and something I'm a little obsessed with, and that is a little show called Arcane. Kayla was supposed to be here with me. I think she still might be somewhere in there.
Yes.
She's there. And of course, I don't think Kayla needs to be convinced to talk about Arcane.
No, I love Arcane. And I might have my little intermissions here. I'm leaving the mullet on for the whole thing.
It's really,
it's actually pretty good. If you guys are like, what the hell is going on right now? Jerica, we wanted to do something fun for Jerica's birthday. Jerica has an iconic, not Belinda. Belinda's me. Belinda's her.
Betty Hyperthrust Dixon is someone I hired from Craigslist, and I see that y'all tried to hire someone, and maybe.
Hold on, she's still here.
Oh, she's still. Oh,
hey.
It's good that y'all also hired. Seems like they're triplets. I didn't know there was two other siblings.
You got Betsy, you got Belinda, and you got Buford.
Yep, that's what you got. And you know what? If you want, when I'm in character, I'm gonna put my sunglasses on, and then this is Kayla, who's going to be very serious.
Oh my God!
And respect
Buford, although my main job I consider researching lizard people, my masking job is in corporate finance, so I know how to mask. I can pretend like I'm normal,
And yes, I'm Kayla, your normal host that's normally here, and I am possessed by the spirit of Belinda, who sails shimmer on the streets to the folk. I forget the name of the underground city. What's the name of the underground city?
Zon.
Zon. Yeah, that's why they got me, because I'm yeah. And then now you've got normal every day.
And I'm just flabbergasted at the amount of surprises we have, because I thought my only gift was just going to be the fact that Josh has never watched Arcane and literally binged season 1 and season 2 just in time for my birthday. I didn't know this was going to happen. He was sort of sick. We had holidays going on, so I did not expect that. Mm-hmm. So Josh has literally just watched season 1, season 2,
Correct.
And is going to talk about it for me.
I haven't told no spoilers. I was going to suppress her like right now in the moment, like that I watched them all, but I was like, well, we need to plan the episode a little. But I haven't told either of them any opinion about it.
Clearly, we're professionals and we really need to plan things, as you
Yeah,
can see.
of course.
Never.
And then I am very excited to hear what Josh thinks because, like he said, he has not shared with us. But we did do, and we're not just going to reiterate. If you watched our episode from a year ago with Jordan, Cognitive Clips, aka a fellow member of Dido, aka in the chat, shout out to our pop in chat, by the way. Sorry we had to be unhinged there for a while. We're still going to be, don't worry. But we did an episode fully deep diving with him into season 2 of Arcane. Well, we'll, I'm sure, be having similar conversations, but it's going to be like more focused on Josh's experience and like Jerica guiding us through some questions. Can you focus, Jerica, with our bullets, or is it really hard?
I'm just really y'all got I knew
We love
something
you.
was I knew something was up, but then when I just saw both of you with mullets, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna cage this beast. This is wild.
Did you
This is great.
expect this?
No, I literally didn't know what to expect.
Well, honey, you got a big storm coming.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm
That's all for me.
I cannot wait to revisit Arcane with y'all because it's been, for me and Kayla, it's been a little over a year. And I think one of my, if you do want to give me something for my birthday, is to have somebody that's never experienced something I love and I get to talk to them about it.
Yeah.
That's truly the best gift anyone can give. So like this show in a nutshell tonight is going to be the best present. And I cannot wait to hear Josh's thoughts about the show, the series as a whole. Because I know he's got some interesting facts to spew out. Because apparently he played League of Legends sometime, and he's going to explain that here in a second. I did not know that about him. He has a little history with it. Because if you didn't know, Arcane is also a show that's based on a video game. It's an adaptation. Way more lore than the game has ever provided. That you probably, unless you want to read a lot of digital stuff, like there's a lot of text on the site. It's a lot like Destiny.
Right.
Read some grimoire cards, but yeah,
Very exciting.
I think I nailed trying to explain what the show's about. Kayla, do you have any housekeeping for us? If
I do,
Kayla's
yes.
still in there. Okay, Kayla's
She's
still
here.
Good.
Yes. Sorry, Jerica. I know that we probably threw you majorly off, but we thought it would be really fun to celebrate you.
I love it so much.
You
This
do
is
have
the best.
some very merry happy birthdays happening in the chat from a very active chat from French Dip Design. Thank you, French Dip, for being here. Cater Blossom, Heroic Headgear, Eula, Sirius Shard, and Fancy Nancy's here. I know she loves this. Yes. And we have Jacob. We have for the sub. Thank you so much. We have French Dip also resubbed for 12 months. Oh, very nice. So thank you all for being here. But yes, we do have some housekeeping before we get into the episode. And I'm going to go through that now. Some very exciting things on the docket. If you don't already have a look at our website where you can buy some merchandise like I have on underneath my little Belinda shirt. Hunter helped me pick this out. He said, and I quote, I was looking for an outfit to finalize this look. This is like planned, but like kind of last minute that we did this. We ordered the same wig, and
It's a good
It
one.
looks a little different though.
it's pretty
Yeah.
good. Well, I need to
might-
style my bangs a little bit more. I don't know.
I need to send me that link.
Okay.
Yeah, girl.
Upgrade. Yeah.
I'll get Belinda to send it to Betsy. How about that?
Yeah,
Because we're professionals. Anyways, Hunter, I was like, he asked me what the vibe was that I was going for. And I said lesbian aunt. And he delivered.
That's it.
Mm.
And
That's it.
And I said, he was very detailed. He gave me the button up and he said, you can't just have a button up with nothing underneath it. I said the lesbian aunt on a cruise. And he was like, you got to have like something else going on.
For sure.
But anyways, other housekeeping, check out our website where you can find our merchandise, all sorts of fun things. And of course, join our Discord where we will be very soon, we'll be deciding what we want our first video game book club of 2026 to be. So all that conversation will happen in our Discord, which is always linked in our website, in our bios, everywhere. It's a really fun community where you can talk about all things gaming and otherwise. We've been having some good TV show and book conversations in there. If you missed last week, we did a most anticipated of 2026. That was really fun. We went through like our collective list of like JK games like most anticipated. And then another thing that's really cool, Josh, you have the thumbnail.
Yes.
Yeah. So Drop and Drop Out, our network of podcasts that we've been involved with for a year now almost. We have a very exciting in-person anniversary event that we will be having the last weekend of January. So that's going to be super fun. Lots of stream content happening then. So definitely join us. It's going to be a delight. Lots of surprises, and we're all going to be together in person for the first time meeting. So it's going to be awesome. And then this Thursday, that's at the end of the month that I just mentioned. This Thursday on Drop and Drop Out, you have where they're going to be going over the best winter games, winter vibes, winter levels. And that is going to be with Patrick, Cayman, and Jordan. So that I think is everything, I believe. And I think that Josh has a little mini game we're going to play.
Mini game.
Take it over. Either Josh or Buford, both in between. You can have either one, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for tonight's game, this is very simple, but we thought it'd be fun. I'm still not doing my opinions yet fully, so this is a little preview.
That's fine.
But we're going to look at some of the Arcane characters and imagine what kind of video game they would like from our world. It could be a genre or a game. Yeah. And so, what character would you like to do first?
Let's let Jerica pick.
Oh yeah, Jerica.
It's her birthday.
Bring up little. Do you have Hermedinger in there?
Yeah, for
little
sure.
Hermedinger.
Mm-hmm.
He's a smart little guy, so
Mm-hmm.
I figured probably something puzzly, sciencey, mathy. I mean, I'm thinking like Windows 97 Solitaire or Windows 98 Solitaire.
Whoa, that's a good one.
Freaking random, and just like I'd walk in on him and just be like, "Why are you playing that old ass game?"
That's a good one.
Use real cards.
Minesweep.
Too. Minesweeper.
Sweeper. Yeah. I think that's a good one. I like that. What did I have for him? I didn't actually have one for him, but now that you say this is more niche. And it's purely based off like vibes, but one of my favorite like little niche indie games that you've probably heard me talk about if you've been around for a minute is Fable Dome is what it's called. It's like a like city builder, like and I think like, you know, obviously Hermedinger is it, I always mess up his name. What's his name?
Heimerdinger.
Heimerdinger.
I go Hermedinger.
Listen, that little guy, he's fuzzy and he just looks like he would love building a castle. So that is why I picked that one. So I think that would be a good one for him.
For me, I thought he's obviously super smart, but I think maybe because he's so old, he's a little wacky, you know, he's a little
yes, that's
little
a good point. Yeah.
So I actually think he would be obsessed with Guitar Hero. Especially
that's a good
especially
one,
near the end when he's basically like retires and becomes a street performer essentially.
Really good singer.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
So Guitar Hero, I think he would just be like hyper fixated on that. And he would build like his own guitars and stuff.
Oh yeah, all the mods.
Yeah, mods.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be modding.
That's a good point. I like that one.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well,
you pick, Josh. You can pick one.
Let's do I thought of a good one for Victor. So let's do Victor.
Ooh, my
okay.
sweet emo boy.
You guys might not know this game, but it's actually perfect. And you could look it up while I'm talking about it, but I got obsessed with this during COVID. It's called Opus Magnum. And it's kind of like a puzzle game, but it's alchemy based with these little round jewels you slot into these things, and it's almost like programming where you tell this machine how to move these jewels and combine these jewels in certain combinations. And honestly, if you like Arcane, the vibes, this is kind of like, I feel like it's an Arcane adjacent puzzle game, even though it's not related to it at all. But it's basically reminds me of what they were doing, like what Victor and Jace were actually doing. Because it's literally like you're researching these little alchemical orbs and trying to fit them together in certain combinations and stuff.
That does sound very Victor coded.
It does.
Yeah.
just like the show, I'm sort of lost on what he's talking about. What?
You
Yeah.
have to look it up after. I got obsessed with it in like 2020, 2021.
Okay.
It's a really good game.
Okay. Jerica, did you have one for Victor?
The first
Or
thing that
just a
came to my
vibe?
mind was Near Automata, just because
Oh.
all
That's
the
good.
robots and
yeah.
are they human or not?
Yeah,
you
there's
can't
some
really tell
philosophical kind of things going on.
for sure. And there's a lot of things in that game that also go over my head. So I feel like Victor would be all up in that for sure. He would align.
Yeah, I think so. For Victor, I was kind of going for the like robotic, like kind of futuristic, like retro of We Happy Few. I thought of that
I
one
could see
maybe
that.
being a good one.
Mhm.
And it's like obviously kind of a similar, I think this is also not just like Victor specific, but more like the Arcane vibe in general of kind of what's going on, because it's like a drug induced like city where they're kind of like all reliant on this like fiction. So I haven't played it in a long time, but it kind of gives me those vibes. So that's why I picked that one. We'll talk more
What
about
would you
Victor
like
later.
to do? Which one would you like, Kayla?
Me? Let's
Yeah.
pull up. Let's go. I mean, I feel like we can get to the main one soon, but like I wanted to say, oh God, I just lost my list. Let's do Jace. Let's do our sweet
okay.
little bromance here, which we'll discuss later.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
But I can start us off. Just go ahead and get us started with Jace. Obviously he's got the big old hammer, you know, and he's very much like justice, like loyalty, and I was thinking Unjustice. Is that what it's called? Is that what the game is called? The Batman, like the DC, like beat 'em up.
Is
Yeah.
it just Justice League? Injustice.
No,
Injustice. It's called
Injustice.
Injustice.
That's what I was. I was thinking Unjustice, but I think that one because it's like a beat 'em up. Because like obviously he loved to swing that hammer though, but you know like I think that would be like a good way to like get some anger out for him. Also, I see we have Dumpster Boy in the chat, and I would just like to pay ode to you with my blackout.
He said, "Dear God, the Peggy's cousins, Peggy's cousins. It's Betty Hyperthrust Dixon. You say it 3 times, she will appear. So be careful." And apparently they're multiplying, so be careful.
We're
out there.
triplets. I'm Belinda, and I was sent because I'm an expert. Apparently, it's this girl's birthday, and then I was sent because I'm an expert in the good stuff, you know what I'm saying, that they sell down there. And then
I'm Buford, and I like
you
lizard people, lizard meat, and corporate finance.
Exactly.
Jesus,
But we're
what a
very serious
combo.
also because Jericho, this is Jericho's birthday, so we got to keep it like relatively on track. Blaster Goblin.
For my birthday, let's be as unhinged as possible. I didn't know that was the mood, so I'm matching it. Let's go. Let's go.
But yeah, who else went for, did anybody else go for Jace?
Just you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, mine for Jace would be No Man's Sky. And I think it's just because it's all about like exploring. It's like for his sciencey side, scientist urges, and then like collecting samples, and then figuring out how to like fly and explore, and just like it's just I feel like a lot of science and exploration, and I feel like that would be a game Jace would enjoy.
So for mine, I didn't really go with the science aspect. I was trying to think of one, but for me, my enjoyment, because I actually like characters with big, oversized hammer weapons, and one of my favorite big, oversized hammer weapon gameplay is in Monster Hunter. So I actually went with Monster Hunter, so you can practice, learn some moves, learn some hammer moves. I think it's like a little bit different, but maybe if you're involved in science all the time, maybe you want something to like, not the same thing, it won't feel like work. So maybe you just want to like veg out with Monster Hunter.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think I like that.
Veg out.
Love a good veg out.
Yeah.
What we got
Jerica,
next?
what do you want to? Who are you thinking?
All right, let's jump to the fun ones.
Okay,
Jinx.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I'm gonna give like a really easy one, but I feel like Jinx is gonna be any game that's like, I mean, obviously Jinx reminds me a little bit of like Tiny Tina, so I'm like any of the Borderlands games.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, either that or
That's a good
like
one.
I don't know, like anything that's in that vibe of just like zany and just
psychotic.
full of guns, psychotic.
Borderlands
so,
was the first thing I thought of.
I think Borderlands is the closest thing I have. Either that or like Beat Saber. I have Beat Saber for a couple.
Ooh,
but like
that's a good
still,
one.
Yeah.
I could see that. I like that.
What'd you have? Because I also had Borderlands. Also, there's some Ubisoft, some of those Ubisoft shooters kind of have that like Jinx vibe too,
Yeah, they
with like
do.
the neon and the graffiti. She also has Fortnite Rave Cave energy.
She does. Now, actually, I don't have Fortnite, but I have Overwatch. Actually,
Yeah.
on my list.
I was
Just
thinking of that
because
too.
there's very much like it's very like in your face. Like the action is very fast paced.
She would play Junkrat.
Yes, she would. Projectiles, like combat. She wants to beat everybody up. Heroic Hager said the finals maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And then my other one was just because it's like I feel like I said Hades too as well. I think that might be like a vibe, especially like the I don't know, just the general vibe, the colors, like things like that.
Jinx and Echo probably play a lot of Overwatch together.
Yeah, I think so.
For sure. I can see it. Let's do Echo since you mentioned Echo.
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of Echo,
for Echo, I had actually. This is funny. I had Life is Strange because
I had that for Case.
because of the specific episode where it's like it reminded me a lot that episode without previewing too much. But that episode reminded me of like the butterfly effect of where like because of this happened, these changes, now she's in a wheelchair or whatever. It just reminded me of that, like an alternate scenario or alternate, parallel universe or something, rewinding time, the time powers in Life is Strange and his kind of time powers. And he's kind of like, his little commune. It's kind of cozy a little bit. So I didn't pick something too like, action heavy for him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I picked, by the way, for Echo, I picked Hades too because of a
Okay.
time loop. Or
Yeah,
just like
because
a
of the
loop.
time.
Any
Yeah,
game.
the loop,
I mean,
any
like
loop.
any like roguelike game, like having to go through and
I
like
can see that.
redo it and do it over again. And that and like Hi-Fi
That's a good one.
Rush sort of hit me with that because like
that's a good one.
That was a good one.
I just feel like dude loves music. He's so cool. He makes science look cool.
Yeah.
And like that was one of those games that like I'm not really great at because I have no rhythm, but like I did just see that sort of scenario with his weapons. Did you know there's like a whole standalone game like that? It was part of like the Riot like incubator projects, like whatever, and it's like a platformer. I've never played. I can't remember the name of it, but it's an Echo platformer, and it looks really good. I need to play it.
I did not know that actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good choice though. Hi-Fi Rush.
The Dan Good Show. Thank you for the gifted sub, by the way.
And he said,
And
"Happy
he said,
birthday,
"Happy
Jerica."
Thanks.
Aw. And gifted to Turok Forever, who was also in here earlier. So shout out to them. I picked for Echo, kind of in the same vein of Hi-Fi Rush, with the swift movement and like the smoothness and the exploration and the vibes. I picked Sword of the Sea for Echo.
I can see that, and you're like kind of riding that little thing.
Exactly, like riding on the board,
hoverboard.
Yeah, just for like the general vibes. That's what I picked for Echo.
That's good. What do you want to do, Kayla?
I think we finish. Well, let's do two more. I think. I think we do
Vi
Kate and Vi.
Yeah.
Which one first?
Let's do Vi.
Okay, cool.
Any Streets of Rage game for Vi.
Streets of Rage. I also thought of Fatal Fury specifically. Like it's kind of like Street Fighter, but more like punchy, like more like street. It's like Streets of Rage, Street Fighter. Fatal Fury.
Jericho, what were you saying?
Oh, keep going.
I was gonna say GTA.
Okay.
Steal some cars, pick up some hookers. Yeah.
Yeah. GTA is very Vi coded. I just think like there's because yes, she likes to beat people up, but sometimes she likes to, go on a little mission, hang out with her friends.
Yeah. I can see it.
A little bit more to it, but yeah. And I also put Mortal Kombat as well because
good one.
Yeah, kind of fighting game, I think.
Fighting games, yeah.
Yeah.
She had that emo fighter phase.
Oh yeah.
Oil slick.
Oh.
Caitlin?
For Kate, I put Life is Strange, which is what you put for Echo.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
only
yeah.
because like I think she makes a lot of changes in her character arc in season 2, but I think at her heart she's a lover girl, and Life is Strange are lover girl games. And I think that she would enjoy playing them, and like specifically when I think about Kate, for some reason what pulls me is True Colors specifically. For some reason is like what I picture her as, and I don't know what it is exactly.
You're trying to also like solve a puzzle to some extent too.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
Life is Strange
game.
1, she's picking Bay BAE over BAY Bay for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
I picked
Your Buford came out.
For sure.
For sure. I picked I've never played any of these games, but I'm just like, she's a sniper, so Sniper Elite. Why not?
Yeah, of course.
That's true.
Are any of those like point and click like murder mystery games? Like I don't know what those are called, but you know, like the little solve it who done
Nancy
it.
Drew.
Yeah, there
like
you go.
Those. Yeah. That's a good one.
Hitman.
Good one, yes.
The series, yeah. Just because like you said, it's kind of like, even though it's like she's more lawful, I think sometimes it's fun to like play a game that's like the opposite of your kind of personality. But it still has like that precision. I think she's like a very precise kind of person. So
yeah,
you know.
All right, our last one. No, that was it.
Oh, yeah.
that was it. That's right.
That's it.
That was fun. What a great way to intro us into our main topic, which I think Jerica, it's her birthday, so she gets to interview the person who did this for her. In like, how long did it take you, Josh?
When did you actually like commit to finish?
It's funny because we talked about this a long time ago, like in November or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't even remember. Maybe October, November, we were like, oh, let's, in January for Jerica's birthday, let's do Arcane. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. But I'm a procrastinator. So
aren't we
I watched
all?
it this week. I watched them all this week. Pretty much straight through. I think I watched season 2 almost in like one day or maybe 2 days. But I watched the whole thing within like 2 or 3 days. So straight through. I didn't have to wait years.
That's the best.
That's intense.
That's basically what I did to Kayla with The Last of Us. So
yeah.
Exactly.
It was a lot more content to The Last of Us, but still, like, you didn't have to wait. So, and I'm also like really interested, like, for someone that was able to like eat them all at once, if the continuity of it all, like, did it feel right, or is it? Because I feel like sometimes I have a lens of, oh my god, it's been years. I know I just could watch the first season, but does it blend well together when you watch it as a whole? Like, I'm curious how that felt for you. But yeah, Josh, like,
to answer that question,
answer that question then
without like specifics,
an overall statement after you're done, like how did you like the show, and then we'll get into it.
Without specifics on like a lot of specifics, as far as like that blended, I do think obviously how season 1 ends, it goes right into season 2, just like that bridge there. But yeah, season 1 and season 2 are very different. Season 1 is a little bit cleaner of a arc, with what's going on. Season 2, I feel like they ran out of time a little bit, maybe needed a couple more episodes, but it's still really cool. So it did feel like they had to tie up a lot in season 2, because they were revisiting a few things from season 1 to try to tie it up, but starting like some other arcs in there. So it's a lot to do in a 9-episode season. But it did feel, I think because they did such a good job bridging the end of season 1 and season 2, it felt pretty cohesive still.
And being someone like familiar with League of Legends, and sounds like you know, maybe let us know about your history with playing it. But
the brief history.
Well, before you do that, hold on, because I really want to know, did it feel like a League of Legends story?
I would say no, but that's because like I played League of Legends, but I don't really know the story.
That's the point. Like, I didn't know like how, and to your point, like how deep do you go into?
I could tell you
League?
a little bit. Aesthetically, it did remind me of it, but like, so I was playing Buford here. I've been playing League of Legends.
Oh God.
Since it was a Warcraft 3 mod, let me tell you. Ice Frog. So
what?
League of Legends starts out as a Warcraft 3 mod. It's a map mod, basically, this game. And it becomes so popular, the creator, Ice Frog, and some other people, they leave they weren't working for Blizzard. It was just a mod, but they make a company, and Riot Games basically hires them to make League of Legends. So it's a generic Warcraft 3 mod. I bought it when it came out. There's a physical copy. It didn't used to be free to play. You would buy it like at the store. So I have it somewhere back here, like the box
That's
League of
cool.
Legends. And so I played it a lot, like when it was out, mostly like with my friends, because it gets pretty sweaty, of course. But I would revisit it like here and there. And so actually I was familiar with some of these characters just as a character, if that makes sense. Not really like their backstory or like whatever is going on. But like Jinx, I know they added her. I know they added Caitlyn in the like 2012, 2013. Like Jinx, Caitlyn, Jace. But I just know like, oh, Jace is the hammer guy. Jinx is like the chaotic. Yeah, I don't really know like anything about them. So if I see him, I'm seeing these characters like in Arcane, but I don't really know like if this is like lore accurate or like what the story is. So that's, I guess, my history with it.
Yeah. And I think that's like, to your point, I feel like I've talked about this before, but you know, Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 have so much lore, but you just have to go looking for it. And I think it's very similar with League of Legends. And I was the same way.
Yeah.
But I did play a lot. Like I played a lot in college.
Yeah.
By the way, what kind of characters did you play with mainly?
I usually liked, actually I did try Caitlyn out when they added her a while ago, a couple years ago, because I actually like a lot of the physical characters versus the more magic type characters usually.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just jumped around, but like you're saying, it's just like a bunch. It's like they have so many characters, like 80 characters, and I'm just like clicking ones that look cool. I don't know anything about them. You know?
Same.
Yeah, it just looks cool. Like it's like Overwatch kind of, where it's like I don't really know like who these people are.
Yeah, they pick the most iconic characters, so let's sort of like start with their story first, because like Jinx is probably the most iconic character with League of Legends.
I knew who Jinx was just because.
Yeah.
Now for Arcane, I didn't know. I wasn't spoiled on anything. I didn't know anything about like the plot or like what's going on or anything.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad you got to go in there just raw dogging it. Let's go.
And so for context, I did not play any of the games. I did not play the game. I've never had, before I watched Arcane, I had no previous attachment to the characters whatsoever. So.
If anything, you don't have to know anything about the video game. It's better if you don't, preferably. Just it's okay. You don't even have to know it's related to a video game, because the reverse thing probably happened with a lot of folks. Like they're like, okay, I played this game or I watched the show. Oh, it's based on a game. Let me go play it. And then they boot this weird ass strategy game up. And I'm like, that's not anything like the show or what I thought I would be, jumping in. Cause like, I think about The Last of Us, like you can watch that show. I mean, the game's like a movie basically, but a lot of like video game adaptations are there, like Fallout. We know what to expect. You'd never see a story like a TV show based on a game that looks like League of Legends. So I would love to see people's reactions to that.
Yeah, like from the world, I kind of just like vaguely, like I know Runeterra is like their world, that because they have Legends of Runeterra. That Runeterra is like they talk about that a lot in just League of Legends properties. And I know Piltover and Noxus or whatever, just from League of Legends, you do get a little bit of that, like the political whatever. So when you find out Mel or her mom is like from Noxus, whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, Noxus, okay. Like I kind of like understand that a little bit, but still I don't really know like what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what was your overall thoughts of the show, Josh?
Someone going in blind, I'm like, let me watch a Jerica Alexis show. Okay, Alexis show. Let me watch this show. I loved Arcane. It's so good. Obsessed. Here's the thing. There's so many similarities to things I like. If honestly, you could reconfigure this and make this just a Final Fantasy show. It's basically Final Fantasy. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 7 combined, because obviously Final Fantasy 7, Midgar City is like the upper level people, and then the lower level people under the city. That is the same exact setup as how Piltover's set up with the class divide. And then you also have like in Final Fantasy 6, magical war had like went on, and so they banned magic essentially, but now they're bringing it back with something called Magitech, which is hex tech, very similar concept, and they start slotting in magic into these machines, very similar to Final Fantasy VI. So immediately I'm kind of in on the kind of overall plot and the vibes. They just from like a storytelling perspective, they did such a good job. I think the 9 episodes obviously helps keep it snappy. I do think they probably could have done maybe 11 episodes per season or something because there are some loose ends here and there. But especially those first 3 episodes is almost like a pilot, right? It's to really get you hooked. Such a good compact first 3 episodes to just tell this little. I was like, "Who's Powder? Where's Jinx? Oh, is that Jinx? I don't know what's going on." But it's such a good 3 episode little arc to set the scene for what becomes like world changing events.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed it a lot overall. My overall impression was very strong, very, very strong. I liked every action scene was like some of the best action scenes I've seen like in anything. I mean, it's so
The
good.
animation is
so good.
so
I think
good.
This show is one of those that like I even benefit rewatching this 3 or 4 times just because like the design and just the high fidelity and all the basically like fireworks. There's just action shots and just effects going on everywhere, and I don't want them to remove any of it, but at times it's so cool, it's distracting. And I'm like, I have to go rewatch this scene because I was distracted by all the flare from this character punching this other character. I'm like, what just happened? I was distracted by this thing happening. But the show's gorgeous. Like,
yeah, and I was aware of like how it looked aesthetically because online, obviously, like it's impossible to avoid. People are talking about the look of it. It's very painterly looking video. It's like a cross between a video game and like a watercolor painting or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the action scenes, they also blend in like hand drawn stuff, especially with Jinx.
yeah, it's a
Her
lot.
stuff.
Yeah.
And not just the aesthetics, but just the acting, the voice acting, the emotion, the performances. Very, just overall, like, I mean, I know it's high budget, but it shows, right?
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
I think Kayla, I mean, like last time that we talked about the show, like we'll get to characters and stuff like later, but it's also one of those shows where, and I know for a fact, I'm so eager to hear your thoughts on music, Josh, but not just music, but also the like how like their micro expressions, like the characters can say so much with no dialogue. Like there's so many scenes like that, and it's so good. Like those are just scenes I like to go rewatch and like, oh my god, like you just know what they're feeling.
And this is
so
really
cool.
good direction. This kind of discussion is actually happening right now with things like Stranger Things, because people are talking about how much like people's attentions has been messed up with like cell phone usage and TikTok and Instagram. And so like a lot of shows are designed in a weird way where characters are like talking a lot because a lot of people watch things on their phones and don't pay attention. And then when they hear something, they'll pay attention. So people point this out with Stranger Things. The characters like constantly talking and explaining what they do instead of doing it through performance because like they're designing shows now to like try to keep your attention.
Yeah.
But like you said, like with this, there's so much expression and animation being portrayed.
That's why I'll never finish Stranger Things because I actually get sort of bored with it. I haven't watched all of it. No, they're so long. I'm just like tired of them being so long. And yeah, I never thought about that, Josh. Interesting share.
It is interesting.
Can I share a special message before we move on from Blaster Goblin in the chat? Who said, I watched the whole series in 2 sittings based off Jerica's recommendation with 0 league knowledge. It slapped so much ass in the binge format, and I still listen to the soundtrack at least once a week.
Wow.
Oh, the soundtrack's so good. Josh, now that you've like rewatched it, like, or you've watched it, you got to go and watch the making of now. Cause I feel like
do that.
The making of was better than the show almost.
I need to
because
do that.
it's so interesting. Sure. I'm so fascinated with like how the music's like designed and created with obviously musicians and performers, but like it's tied to, they pick certain artists for certain scenes. And
that was very clear if you listen to the lyrics and what's happening. It's like music videos almost.
It is. It's so cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite performances is 21 Pilots performing the line at the Game Awards that year.
Might be one of the it might be one of the best like live performances that
I need to go back and watch it
he's
now. I
ever
remember
done.
I remember when
It's
they
really
did
good.
that, but I didn't have context.
It's
Yeah.
so good. The live performance is even better than the like
Yeah.
recording. I listened
Yes.
to and they haven't released the live
You
recording
just
on
listen
like
to it on like YouTube.
I listened to
So
it on
good.
YouTube.
Yeah.
That's how good it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll check it out again.
I love it. But anyways, that was my music tangent. So very good.
I mean, we can all share too, like, the moment like that this show, because like I remember when it first came on, and I was just watching because it was new, and I'm like, let's see if this is any good. Like the moment that hooked me, was definitely just like seeing the impact that certain decisions could have, like not on one character but like multiple characters, and like the ripple effect of that. And I guess I was just hooked as I mean they're good at what they do. Like season 2 did the same thing, but season 1 came out, it was 3 episodes each weekend. You get 3 episodes, like an arc 1, 2, and 3, and that's how they did season 2, which I think is also like a really smart move. But they, just the story always ends in a decision and then the impact, and you want to know what happens next. So like obviously the end of season 1, episode 3, the worst moment happens, and Vander is hurt and Jinx is the cause of it, and Vi slaps her and runs off, and you're just like, that is just gut wrenching. And I was like, okay, I'm in. The despair has sold me. I don't know about y'all. Did y'all have any other moments that, like, what was the moment that like hooked you or made you think like, oh my god, this show's so good? It's probably the one I mentioned, but
two moments really, like a double hook. So the first was, like I was saying, like I don't know what's going on, so I'm watching these first 3 episodes, but I didn't know, like, I don't know how it's structured, how the timelines are going to work, but I pretty much figured out, okay, like this is them young, whatever. But yeah, this 3 episode arc and how that ends, that is the first hook, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like okay, this is just the performance and the story and everything. Like, okay, I'm in already. But honestly, like I kind of alluded to, then we start the next episode 4. We get into a little bit of the Jace stuff, and you learn a little bit more about the world, what's going on with the magic and what those orbs are and what they're trying to do. And again, like this immediately starts reminding me of like Final Fantasy 6 and different things. And so I'm in on this inventor kind of arc stuff going on the side. And what I'm picking up also, because I didn't know, like, I see Jinx a lot, so I just, okay, Jinx is the main character or something, but she's not really, like, there's no real main character, and I didn't really know that going in. And what I start picking up to pretty fast within season 1 is that none of these are really good people. Like, they're all kind of flawed, right?
Messed up,
some of the best stories are with flawed characters like that. So none of them are really like a hero type character. They're all, like you're saying, Jerica, they all have their own motivations and they all affect each other. And it's like a snowball effect of like each one affecting each other. And a lot of them make bad decisions or the wrong decisions. But it also seems that like everyone has these plans, and then Jinx is always like she's a Jinx, but she's always like the chaotic element where you start to think of like, okay, this person's trying to do this, and then this is going to happen. You just kind of have it figured out. And then Jinx is like this chaotic element that throws it all, like upends it all,
Yeah. But at the end of the day, they're just kids too, like all of them.
Yeah.
And so that's why like it pulls on my heart so much. And I think that's why like one of my favorite tropes in media, books, shows, games is the found family trope. And I think that you really get that pretty early on from this show. And I immediately knew like you have these very emotionally complex characters all in one space and like dealing with this very major issue. So I immediately was bought in from like what I knew was going to wreck my heart into pieces, which was the emotional like relationship dynamics, and like the found family aspect.
I knew immediately within like episode 2 that, well, I don't know. I mean, I knew Vi was like in League of Legends, but I don't know like who's surviving in the show or whatever. So
Should we throw the
I
spoiler
knew
tag already?
Oh yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do it. Yes, we're gonna get into it. Like this is come back to this after you watch the show and both seasons.
I knew that this is another thing I was going to mention overall. For me, there's not a lot of twists in this show, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. They do a really good job of setting things up. to the point of like you kind of know like most like I knew someone was, I assumed it was either going to be Vander or Vi, but I didn't think Vi was going to die. But like I knew someone was going to die in the within that first 3 episodes. Just how they set things up. A lot of the things towards the end with the very end with Victor is kind of a little bit predictable, but that doesn't mean that it's bad with like, oh, because you could see this coming. It just means they did a really good job of like laying the foundation and like setting that up. And I think it was satisfying for that reason.
There was just so many things going on too, like other storylines that sort of, it wasn't just all based on that one outcome with Victor. So I think that's like what also helps the story, because you're just like, to your point, Josh, earlier you said like there's just so many, there's not one main character, there's like multiple main characters in this show. Kayla, what were you saying?
I don't know why I thought, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I do think there were some things that caught me by surprise, but I agree with Josh. Like, nothing that like what you would consider like derogatory of like predictable did feel that way for me at all, because of like how well it was done.
Except the scene in the jail cell. Just kidding.
I remember you were very pleasantly surprised by that. I will say, like, while it wasn't later, it becomes more obvious, like Mel and her mother being like so corrupt kind of was a surprise to me, like in a way. And then also like the kind of switch up that at the end that Maddie does on Kate, that was a little bit of like, oh shit, like moment.
Oh yeah, I didn't really think about that. Yeah,
and that whole scene is like a oh shit moment.
It's a good one. Good scene.
I don't think there's any like, I don't think it needed any major like plot twist moment to be successful, which I think is really cool. So.
I think even this is crazy, but I sniffed this like, so at the like very beginning when you see Jace as a kid and someone saves his mom with the magic.
Yeah.
As soon as they started messing with the crystals and stuff, like very early on within like the first half of the season, I already knew that that person was either going to be Jace or Victor in the future. Like, I knew it from season 1. So that like wasn't a surprise to me at all. Actually, I thought it was going to be Jace like himself, but it ended up being Victor. But so stuff like that, like it wasn't really a surprise because I just felt like it was set up so well, but I didn't think it detracted anything.
Yeah. I think that they don't lean on it too much for it to be like
they don't rely on that to be like, exactly. They don't be like, oh, this needs to hit because it's like a surprise.
I want to know, and I know, Jerica, please direct the conversation as you want, but I really want to hear about Josh's like favorite characters. And
I think that's a perfect segue, because like I want to talk before we talk into like the themes and the world building, the different environments we visit. I did want to just sort of nail down like, Josh, who's your favorite characters? Because I know you can't just have one.
Yeah, early on, not in the 3 episodes as a child, but pretty early on, Caitlin was like one of my top favorite characters. Yes. And Caitlin and Victor, like pretty much my 2 favorite of this whole series. I also in season 1 really did like Silco, how he plays out.
Yeah.
But so to go over these real quickly. So Caitlin specifically, I really liked her total arc. It's one of the best arcs in the whole series of spread across both seasons. And the interplay with Vi and Caitlin, they kind of switch arcs, which is very interesting to me, because by season 2, because of what's going on with her mom and stuff, she turns very vengeful, very hateful, and is wanting to oppress or really lay down the law on these people, where Vi has every right to do that and feel that way towards the upper people, but she's the one that's trying to show compassion and trying to convince her out of it. And so I'd really like that switcheroo where she has kind of a villain arc a little bit, but like I said, they're all complicated, they're all flawed, and her having to deal with that, and it doesn't ever really necessarily fully get resolved, but I just like her having to deal with those emotions and figure it out and how she expresses them. And yeah, her and Vi have this super complicated dynamic, and it kind of switch their roles or their trope kind of switches a couple times. And so I thought that's really cool. Overall, like as a character, I thought Vi a little bit, there could have been like a little bit more with her. She's very focused on like a few things, but I think if you combine her into like between Jinx and Caitlin and those choices and everything, that makes it really, that does make Vi interesting. But I like how Caitlin kind of shines a little more there. With with Victor, I thought he had just a really cool arc. I wish we had a little more backstory from him. We hear about some of his upbringing, but we don't really get to see a lot of it.
Yeah,
But
because he's from Zon and like
yes,
goes. I sort of forgot that he is sort of brought up by Singe, which is the
yes.
mad scientist that
This
you
is
know.
where I think you could have used like a couple other well-placed episodes to just flesh it out
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Like
but it
flashbacks
still
almost.
works. Yeah, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Just some,
It's
you know, in
a
between
little flavor.
of anything. Yeah.
That was our critique. Like originally was like maybe things a little bit more fleshed out. Like I personally like wish there was a little bit more with Mel and Breza and the Black Rose
Yes,
stuff.
they're so
like that.
underdeveloped.
Yeah.
It's way underdeveloped.
Yeah. But it's
I-
not bad that it's there. It's just like not like
It's not bad.
if it was
Spoilers for the
there,
future.
Yeah.
The Black Rose, Mel's situation with these mages is going to be what carries into the next series.
I mean,
So
you
that's why-
have to.
that makes sense.
That's the big thing because
Yeah.
like simply these mages are trying to control the world. They are like the cabal, the Illuminati, whatever. If you want to get your conspiracy hats on, the Black
Oh,
Rose is
hell
controlling
yeah.
everything. Okay.
You
So-
know those are people.
And now that like Mel's
Yeah.
involved, Mel might be able to help direct that somewhere else or at least take power from them. So
I do think they set it up well at the end for the future, but I think they started laying the groundwork for it in season 1. It seemed like in season 2 they had so much other stuff to cover that it did kind of get like backburnered a little bit.
yeah.
Because they do set this up as like, oh, magic's all gone from the world, whatever. Oh, we just found it out, hex tech, whatever. And then it's like, I kind of like that where then you find out like, oh, actually these people have been doing magic, this other kind
For
of
the
magic
whole
forever.
time, for
I was
years.
like, I was like, oh, okay, that cheapens the other thing a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, I agree. They're underdeveloped, but you know, that's okay. But what I was saying about, Victor, I just liked
Yes.
his arc is just so interesting. And I do, it's kind of weird, but I like the little cult subplot, you know, where he gets into all
Have
that,
you-
where he like ascends.
I've watched Evangelion recently. What an
Yeah, yeah,
anime.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like 30 years too late,
Yeah.
but watch that. And then I just got off a Pluribus. So there's a
Yep.
lot of, I was
Well,
like,
and for me, I just read the Annihilation Southern Reach trilogy, which is what the movie's based on. And it kind of gives us a little bit of that too, which is biological entities beyond human comprehension, right? So it did give me a little bit of the Annihilation kind of vibe too, which I
a lot
really
of
like.
that lately for you.
And I like
Josh.
this theme of the magic because it's this theme of like humans trying to control magic, right? Turn it into technology, but there's so much they don't understand, and they're using this, and they don't
They're just
understand
doing
the impacts. They're just doing it,
Yeah.
and there's all this stuff going wrong. And so I do like Victor as this like mad scientist, but not in a bad way. They're trying to help people, but it just turns like crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then the last thing with Silco. What an interesting thing, because like they try to set him up in season 1 as like the main antagonist, sort of. But like I'm saying, a lot of these people are kind of bad. Like Mel seems like an antagonist
Yeah.
on the Piltover side. Jace and Victor, even though they have good intentions, they're kind of
They're
doing
just
bad
blind.
things.
They're
So
blind
everyone's
to it
doing like
all.
bad things.
Everyone's
But,
focused on their thing. And I think that's what, as viewers, it makes us feel like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why? But they don't know
Yeah.
other things are going on. But we're able to watch all of these characters together. But they're like,
And their
everyone's
struggles.
in their own little circle or their own little bubble.
I
It's
really liked that Silco actually did care for Jinx. Like he
Yeah.
is legitimately like viewed her as like family.
Yeah.
And that makes it really interesting that he wasn't just using her for. In fact, she's more trouble to him than anything, causing her like she's causing him so much problems. But he's always like trying to figure out a way to account for her, to like just whatever. He really truly did see her as like a daughter. And so some of that last scene, the last episode of season 1, the tea party, mad tea party
Oof.
scene, just an incredible scene where
Oh my God.
it is two people that truly care for Jinx, but in weird, flawed ways, because
Yeah.
they both failed her and they both have kind of messed up.
And they both have the
Um,
burden of like what
yeah.
she has become on
Yes,
them in
it's
a
so
way.
interesting.
And I think that like it's so good. Like that is one of my favorite scenes. And
For sure, mine too. It's
Yeah, I
really,
think-
really good.
Yeah.
the whole show's just so tragic.
great
That's why it's so
It's
good.
tragedy.
Yeah,
Truly.
it's tragically beautiful. There's also really quick like add in Victor is one of my favorite characters. My favorite episode of season 2 is episode 6, The Message Hidden Within the Pattern. that's like my favorite episode, and his whole monologue in that is like,
Yeah.
I feel like kind of gives you
It's good.
the like prefaces of what the show is about. And I also love that he's like this like reluctant martyr in a way at first, because like they bring him back. He doesn't want to be back. Like he's
Correct.
like, why did you do this? Like I was like, it was over.
For a second, he
but
was
yeah.
going to destroy the thing, but then he couldn't because he's kind of have this symbiotic relationship, you know?
Yeah, it's very interesting, but yeah.
You know, I recently
thoughts.
rewatched season 2. And at a second watch through, I've really honed in on, and the fact that we didn't have as much echo in season 2 is a bummer.
Mhm.
Yes.
We get it though. We get it. That's where definitely Josh, and we'll talk to like how it landed and everything at the end, but like we just need a little bit more breathing room for like a few more
A
characters. But
little bit more.
Echo is just one of those cool ass characters, and I feel like his league champion hasn't been in the game as long as like Jinx, Vi, Caitlyn have been. Like they've been in the game for years.
Yeah.
Echo being a newer character based in Zon, it was really cool they incorporated him into the show, and his character's so interesting. Like in League, like literally that is his ability, is that he can go back in time. And just being able to see that, you know, realize and how he sort of got there with his backstory is so good. I just wanted more. Episode 7 is so good. That's what I recently just rewatched and just really slowed down. And it's that episode that you're just in an alternate universe, and they're like,
Yeah.
what could have happened if, you know,
I love their little relationship too.
It's so good.
I wish
like,
this is one of the things I wish more
seeing
coming
him
out of
and
it. Coming out of
Jinx.
I love that episode too, but coming out of it, we don't see him again hardly at all until like the very end up
it's
there.
it's such a
I wish
bummer.
we could have seen more, and I wish we could talk about the Jinx moment, like the death,
Yeah.
quote unquote. But
Yeah.
I wish that he would have been there for that. I wish that maybe would have happened like up at the top or something, just to tie that in a little more, because he wasn't there for that, and so it's kind of, I don't know.
He had
I
to
wish
save
he
the
could have been there
day.
for that. Yeah.
I will say the fight scene with him and Jinx is one of my favorite
On the
scenes,
bridge?
with the
Yeah.
clock, like where, oh my
So good.
god,
That was
it
all-
so good. Is that in
uh,
episode 7 too?
That's an
Beginning of
episode.
episode
That's
seven?
season 1, like episode
Because
6
they
or
blew up the
7.
bridge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is season 1. Sorry, it's been a little bit since I watched season 1.
It all blends together because it's so good.
That
But
fight
yes.
scene
So
is one of my
good.
favorites because of the style and
It
I
shows
forgot
him
my
like
TV
played
was
it.
right here.
It shows him like playing his kids. It's
another
dope.
one that's like one of my top favorites, and you could tell it's just them doing a little bit to make it cool. But when Jinx builds that slot machine arm,
Oh my god, for
that
Samika.
is such a cool. And she's fighting that rat dude who looks like the Donkey Kong Bonanza main boss.
Yeah.
And yeah, and she just
Samika is such a cool character, by the way.
she's underutilized but cool. But
So
and her,
freaking cool.
her hair's so bad in season 2, but
Yeah, what they
It's
do
really
to
bad.
they
God.
do mention that. They do
Yeah.
make fun of it too in game, not in game, but yeah, the slot machine arm is so fun.
Mhm.
We only
love
got to
Mhm.
see it that once or
It
twice.
was just that one fight. You know, you could tell like this would be cool. And like, I'll just make a one fight with it.
It was its own episode,
Yeah.
basically, and it was
You know,
worth it.
these animators really just were like, and
That was
another
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Let's have
You
fun.
You gotta
here.
have the slot machine arm.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Oh my god, so good. Yeah, Samika underdeveloped for real.
But also Josh, I did relate with you too. Like I think out of everyone's arts, I think Caitlyn's is one of my favorites
It's
because
good.
just so many different versions of Caitlyn we see. Like, I mean, we get to see a lot of the characters grow up, but Caitlyn was one of those characters we didn't see as a kid and see her backstory. We saw like a little bit. Oh, by the way, I'm really bummed that we didn't get a conversation between Caitlyn and Jinx or Vi where someone figured out that they were on the other side of the room when they went and like tried to steal a crystal from Jace's lab, whatever. Because they were like Jason and
Oh,
Caitlyn
yeah, I
were
know
walking
what you're
down the
saying.
hall,
Yeah.
and they were on the other side.
You
like,
don't really get a
stealing the crystal.
reveal. Yeah.
You know, and they never
Mhm.
know that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like they could have figured that out at some point. I'm really bummed they didn't get that reveal at some like where
think
they
with,
learn that, but
With her personality is so, it just kind of stands out because everyone else has like this kind of over the top personality. Hers is like this kind of more of a stoic, kind of quiet rage that she gets. So it's just she
Mhm.
just has a very interesting aura.
and like the
Mhm.
whole season and like even season 1 just down to the facts and like wanting to solve the mystery, being a good detective, because in the game she is the sheriff of Piltover. Which
Very
I was bummed
Judy Hop score. Actually.
Yes. I was really bummed we didn't get to like see the outcome of her like becoming a sheriff. I hope one day maybe we get to see that, because in the game it's like her and Vi are like good cop bad cop basically, and it's so I just wanted more from every character, but like seeing that dynamic. I've already lost my train of thought. Where was I talking about?
I
literally lost it.
When they were in the room when they
more like just more Caitlyn stuff.
It came back to me. Because I was just literally watching it. That's why I was late hopping on. Then when right after we're gonna have to talk about Isha and Jinx's like,
oh my god,
what sort of puts her on that going on that path at the end. That was just a heartbreaking moment. But like after that, Vi wakes up and is like, what happened? Where's Jinx? Where's Caitlyn? Whatever. And they go and like Vi like storms the room and like to argue with Caitlyn about like, I can't believe you put her in a jail cell again, blah 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 blah, blah, blah. And just sort of bad mouthing her to say like, I can't believe you sucked up to Mel's mama and you just let it happen, blah blah blah. And you don't really ever really see Caitlyn get rattled in a conversation. In like that moment, like she loses her cool, and she only loses her cool when she's talking to Vi. And I think that's just really cool. Like any even with like what's Mel's mom? What's Mel's mom's name again?
Embressa.
I'm gonna call. She is Embresta.
And them thighs.
Damn, that's a big woman. I really wanted Savika and her to duel at some point. I was really bummed we didn't get that.
Deal.
Oh, I forgot I had a game for her. I was gonna say like God of War for Embressa. I think would be a good one.
Good. Yeah.
Boy.
Anyways, I love their dynamic. Everyone's dynamics are so good. It is funny when you get to season 2 in some moments that characters are finally interacting with each other for the first time, and you're like, shouldn't you know each other? Because you're so used to, as a viewer, like watching everyone's stories. I'm like, have they met? Like Victor, Vi, and Jinx when they're meeting at the commune or whatever. It was just so funny because I felt like they should know each other by now, but I'm like, wait, they've never met.
Yeah, it is funny because there's so much, but I think that shows you too how well the perspective shifts are, like how well they do them in this show. Like, because you are following a good bit of characters and like different sets of people, but I feel like they do really well at like how much time you spend. Like, while I do think like we could have gotten more development in certain people, but like I feel like the shifts are very timely of like who you're following and when. Like it almost feels like they're all together in a way.
It's good. It helps you not forget. It's pretty. The flow's so good. I'm not forgetting where I left off with certain characters when I'm watching, for sure.
What I wanted to ask you guys, I was curious if you felt like some maybe subplots or certain plots were maybe unnecessary or didn't work as well, because I felt like the back half of season 2, I was getting a little worried because I think the Vander as a beast thing was kind of unnecessary.
I think they could have done it. I don't know. It felt. I think
it
that
didn't really
just
go
needed
anywhere. It just seemed like I don't understand. Like
I think it needed more breathing
there's
room.
some emotional like sad points with it, I guess, because you showed the memories and like okay, that's sad.
Yeah.
But it's like, but why? Like, but what's the function of this? Like,
I mean, Warwick's a champion, and like I guess they wanted. It was the plot point for Mbeza to like want to learn how she can make an army undefeatable. Like that was. It sort of clicked with me today. Like, obviously, they needed something to bring Jinx and Vi back together, but then it also needed to make sense in the overarching story for Singe to be the one that can create this kind of beast. That's where it was, but I feel like it just didn't have enough.
Something, yeah.
It needed a little bit more. Like that whole episode between Vi, Jinx, and them like just walking through that tunnel
in the mines,
like,
so long. I'm like, oh man, I don't know.
I loved that. I don't know what it was.
I was about to say no. I was gonna say we needed more of that, and maybe just more of them, like because they go to the cabin and like see like Silco's notes or whatever.
I saw, and like that could have changed everything if you would have read that and stuff,
and then you're just sort of like whiplash of Vander coming down the tunnel and like I don't know. I don't know, them coming to terms with it I felt like was a little rushed. I don't know. I'm not a writer, so I don't know.
I think that makes sense. To me, I feel like him like re-entering this world was kind of like a physical manifestation of them having to like deal with the consequences of their actions. Like maybe some of the stuff like with that happened with Jinx and him. And I think that it was kind of like an emotional sore spot of like him being there. But I also think like not
No,
to
you're
underplay.
really no, you're really that is. I think you hit the nail on the head with that one,
Yeah.
Kayla. Yeah.
I think that also, can I just say that like
Uh-huh.
I was rereading my notes and didn't get to rewatch the whole season, but I rewatched the last couple episodes. Where they introduce, I like to affectionately refer to him as Werevander. Um, the intro scene for him and the music is
Yeah.
so good. Like that whole like scene right there, I really loved. And I feel like you could have one thing I mentioned in like our episode with Jordan, and I'll quickly mention it here too, is I do feel like some of the endings of the arcs and the beginnings of the next arc could have been done a little bit better, specifically like the 1 to 2 like branch. I think that like the moment where Vander like looks at Jinx and says powder, I think that could have been like a perfect like ending to like
I
that
see.
like the
Yeah,
arc.
that's good. Yeah, I see.
But I don't know, something about it. I think it's just like the way that him being there kind of like makes them face themselves and each other and like their own relationship. It's like a token of their past. Like 'cause you don't really have like Silco anymore, so like I feel like he's like a good like flip coin. Like
Yeah, I don't really know what else would bring them together other
think
than the
another-
thing
well,
that
maybe-
destroyed them both. You know, like
Maybe the
Yeah.
thing that I have a hard time too, it almost feels unresolved because like that became like a big focus. Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. They found him again. He's in there. Like, oh my gosh, this is that brings them together. And like, oh, what can we do? Like, let's go over here. Maybe he can be healed. This whole thing, this is their singular focus to be brought together to try to get him out of there. And I know like a lot happens, but they basically fail, but then they just kind of move on. It feels like it's like he just died again, according to you, or like in from your point of view, and they're just kind of like, oh man,
oh
like,
man,
oh man.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It seemed
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know, it feels unresolved a little bit.
I can see that.
I think that's
I
why
just
like
love
the
it.
characters don't have time to sit with what
Yeah,
the impact
exactly.
of what has
It's
just
because
happened.
they're already like on the
it's
next
It's
thing.
like death and destruction everywhere. Yeah.
Which makes sense to some of their mental
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
stable points, like at the end, near the end of the last couple of episodes. Like it's sort of like some of the characters are just tired. They're just done.
Yeah. I could have a whole separate podcast about the way that mental health is represented in this show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that I know that kind of leads us into like talking about the themes, but I don't want to skip. Are we missing? Is there any other characters and like relationship stuff we want to talk? I know we didn't really talk about Isha, but I also love Isha a lot. Is it Isha?
It was
Isha?
Great addition to the story.
I think it really helps with soften Jinx's character, because up to that point she's just seen as very not necessarily selfish, but just very irresponsible or chaotic, and so it really helps show that, and it makes it sad too because she sees herself in that in Isha.
Yeah, it's a
so
very clear
and then
parallel.
you know
Yeah.
that scene of them walking through that tunnel, like Vi is like watching Jinx
Yeah,
interact
I
with this
actually
girl
love
and
that.
seeing that. I think for Vi, like seeing that, oh shit, she's fine even with all the shit I did. She's okay. Why am I wasting? What was even the point of me trying to save her? She's just fine.
That's a good
Yeah.
call out. I did recognize that. That's one of those nonverbal moments you're talking about where it's like
Yeah.
Vi sees them interacting and is like, oh,
Like,
it
Well, I mean,
surprises
speaking
her.
of nonverbal, Isha is nonverbal just
Yeah.
in general. And I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
that's very intentional and very
Yeah.
interesting. I love that addition too. I think that that's like the way, very tragic, of course, but like very, I think necessary to like the whole character like tie-ins. But I think like I do think that even though I hear Jerica's like explanation on like the future of like the Mel and Embreza and the Black Rose stuff, I think that you could have done without the brother thing, like her weird like brother but not brother, like
oh, I can
I don't
explain.
know.
I can
Yes,
explain that a little
please.
bit because little diving into League lore. Maybe Josh is new to this too, but there's a character
Yeah, I
named
don't know.
LeBlanc. And there's been a couple of trailers like the last two expansions, I think, in League or editions, and they show more of LeBlanc and what she truly looks like. But LeBlanc is the character we're seeing imitate Mel's brother
The
and
Black
taking the
Rose kind of
shape.
witch person.
Yeah, basically, this LeBlanc can take the form and shape of anybody, anything, and just like manipulate you. Like that is what the goal is of the Black Rose, is to control everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's really fascinating that Mel, the reason why they want Mel to be a part of the group and why they want Mel to understand what her abilities are is because they are terrified of Mel, because Mel's ability, when it awoken inside of her, like it is based on being a protection. It's based on instinct. So like that is why Jace didn't die. Like
Right.
her and
They-
Jace, like it
They
was
talk about
saved
that.
because it was just like instinct. She can't really.
Because he's
she's
like, why
learning to
me? She's like,
control
I
it.
can't control that. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
based on, and it's true intent and empathy that she feels with her
It's
abilities.
very Bella from Twilight.
We maybe we
Fair
should
enough.
Twilight and review at some point. I want to revisit that.
should.
But yeah, like Mel can technically like see through disguises. Like she can feel and know someone's true intentions once her ability is awoken and what she can do, from my interpretation. So that is why they're scared of her, because they can't trick her anymore. Because she ultimately just didn't fall for the fact that that was her brother.
That
Yeah.
comes across some too when she like traps her mom in there, and
It
then
gets
she
even-
enters in and is like, and then the LeBlanc, I guess, person was like, "What are you doing?" And then
And that's
she
her
can, like,
ability, like leveling up and her learning to control it. And I know, like, for someone that didn't do the research like I did, not saying that you need to, you have to go look this stuff up because there's not enough of it in the series. But they had to have some kind of mystery. I just felt like if they were going to have the mystery and not, if they never make another show, it will suck because if you're just watching, if you're just invested in this world and you know, you don't get enough. I do think
Yeah.
I wish they would have gave us a little bit more with that for anybody that hasn't wanted to look up anything, but obviously they're working on 3 different things, so it was done for a reason.
it was cool. Like towards the end there, I actually liked all that stuff you're talking about. And then when Mel gets her powers, she's really cool. At
Oh
that
yeah,
point.
she's really
But I just felt
awesome.
like
Oh, hell yeah.
before, I don't know, she felt like kind of sidelined most of the time. Like she felt like almost like she was gonna be a main character, and then just not quite enough. And then towards the end, yeah, like they start putting all this in there to set up for something else. You could tell it's a setup, but it's like, oh man, I wish maybe they could spread that out a little more with her.
You wanted
would've been
more of it.
interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting because,
Yeah.
and I think this might, unless if y'all think of something else, I should add it in here, but I think it might be a good segue because of this topic. Like the world is so much bigger than what we're experiencing here at these 2 cities. For example, yes, there's magic and mages. The Arcane is this magic that can be controlled, and has been controlled for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. And I think that's why they obviously picked this story for their first show, because it is a little bit more. I mean, it's not grounded in reality, but it's a little bit more digestible. There's not a lot of magic. There's a little bit here and there.
This
And
is
there's
like a
some stuff.
prequel to the League of Legends game, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is fascinating that if you don't know, this is some of the information you're missing out on, because the world is much more powerful and deeper than just these 2 cities. Yes, there's magic. There's dragons that fly around this planet. There's like ancient gods, like, and a lot of these characters are currently existing, like in this timeline. And they can go, I mean, you know, it's sort of like Destiny. There's all kinds of lore that they could go into next, but
Yeah.
it's
One
cool
thing,
to,
speaking of that lore, I was
yeah.
initially in season 1, I was a little bit frustrated by Heimerdinger because he's like the represents like the cautious, and it's like him versus Mel essentially from on the politics side. Like Jace and Victor are kind of the middle, and she has her other motives that you don't find out about for later, but to try to progress things. But he's really like just status quo, like the cautious guy. But with and maybe again this is part of him being a little kooky from how old he is, but he's always like, because he was around during some of these magic wars and stuff, and that's why they founded Piltover to try to like, you know, whatever. There's no magic, and so all of a sudden Jace is like messing with this stuff, and he is like, well, you don't need to do this because like I've seen what could happen, but he doesn't really explain. Like just tell them like what
He's being,
happened.
like,
Tell them what
bad-
happened.
He's being a bad parent. It's like when
Yeah.
the kid's like, "Can I play with that?" No, and you're like, they're just gonna keep playing with it.
I think that could be because he's been around so long. And what I think one of the themes of this show as a whole is like it is a cycle of like humanity like wanting access to what they can't have and like involving themselves in things that will destroy them is like something that's like inevitable. It's like this circle of like violence. And so he probably is just like, well, here we go again.
It seems like it because like
you know what I mean?
And there's no even explaining why not to do it because he's just seen it. He's like, nope, it happens
no,
every
he's
time.
like, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, this is what
Just
it's
don't
going to
do
be.
it.
And then he goes to the
Yeah.
counselor. He's like, we just don't need to do this because I've seen what happens.
Yeah.
They're like, okay,
I've
like I don't
seen
know. It's like-
His little mustache.
I think it's just like inevitable, and that's probably why, potentially. But I think, yeah, it is kind of funny. He's a little kooky guy.
yeah.
What'd y'all think
Love
about
him.
the, between the two cities, like I mean, obviously they put these two cities against each other to move the narrative and give this world some, I don't know, some dynamics, and obviously for the characters too. Like it sort of sucks. This poor little city in the downstairs, people live down there and they have to take this long ass elevator up to Piltover if they want fresh air, and that really sucks. So these two towns, what the hell? Why can't they get along?
I think just like I said, it's extremely Final Fantasy VII. Like it's actually literally the same thing, but it's a classic kind of a trope, right? A classism kind of a trope that is good. Like, I mean, it's very effective, especially like the physical barrier.
Yeah. And it's like realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic, very topical, very current. At any time, you could pick any time in human history, and it's pretty much a current topic, which is terrible actually. But I think it was represented very interesting. Again, like we were talking about with Silco, some of these other like little crime lores, very like cyberpunk looking, like that guy with the golden jaw and the lighter.
Yeah.
And the lady with the
Everybody from Zon looks so
Yeah.
badass. Like
So
I love the
freaking
look.
cool.
I love their look so much.
And so I think it's interesting though that you get the sense, you don't get the full lore, but you kind of do in little pieces. And so you know that it used to be poison, and Silco like really was instrumental in kind of help cleaning things up, or he's around the time him and Vander, like all them, like the old guard, right, kind of helped create an underworld where their business is reliant on the topsiders though, because that's when they start getting into trouble is when the bridges are closed and the topsider like black market is essentially closed off. So
Yeah.
they're still heavily reliant on topsiders for their survival, for their income, or for their lifestyle that they're kind of maintaining. And so it's kind of interesting. I also thought it was interesting with this world in particular. This is something I notated, that even though this is like a seedy underworld, murder in general seems to be kind of rare, at least all through season 1. It's pretty rare. When a characters die in this world, it's actually a huge deal. Because for the most part, even they're fighting each other, they leave themselves alive. So when all of a sudden Silco kind of starts killing a few people, it's like a huge deal down
Especially
there.
the child.
And even
Like,
yeah, and then even in the top side, when Jinx kind of results in the death of like 3 or 4 of the soldiers, I mean, there's huge funerals and stuff. It's like an unheard of kind of thing. So it's not like some of these worlds where like people are just kidnapping and murdering each other like all the time. This is something I noted, that murder seems to be like rare, even for like the slums, so to speak.
that's interesting. I never noticed that, but you're right.
Yeah.
They treat it like such a huge deal, and like they always stop like just short of that. All their fights, all their beefs with each other, they always stop just short of that.
Well, because
That's
they're just gonna respawn and try to take my
I
tower. You
guess
know what I'm
so,
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
They'll
Yeah.
just come back, right? It's like
Yeah.
the game.
I do think like it definitely the way that no one is like in the right or wrong. Like, yes, the people who are forced to live in these unsafe conditions, but like everyone is doing what they have to do to survive, and like will stop at nothing to like be in a better place. And that's kind of like doing what I have to is kind of like the like cycle that I feel like everyone is going through in this like world. But yeah, it's really
I just thought that
feel
was
like
interesting,
always
yeah,
relevant.
about how their slums was portrayed, because it's like their business isn't so much like they don't even really steal from the topsiders. That's why it was such a huge deal when in the first 2 episodes when they went up there, because you know they had all these deals with the top side. So they don't even go up there. They're not thieving, murdering people, stealing from there. Their whole economy is just this trade, actually, like between like an illegal trade between like tops. They don't
Yeah, they
really
never
specify
even had like
really, like, what it
checkpoints.
is.
until like the tower situation. Like
exactly.
then that point is when you actually had to check in before you got on the little train ride up.
So I just found it interesting that there for this underworld, it's not really predicated on violence as much as just kind of just this undermarket.
Yeah,
Power.
I mean they got hookers down there. You can show
Yeah,
the brothel,
they have all that kind of stuff. Yeah, brothels,
bars.
That's
you know.
how we knew.
They sell the what's it called? The thing. You're an expert
Shimmer.
in it. The
Well,
shimmer.
you know, hold on.
Oh God.
Hold on. This is
You
why
see
I
it.
was brought.
It
This is
makes
why I
it
was
to the
in
top
here.
side because they talk about mixing it in like you could think of it how like cocaine is like the rich version of heroin, right? So like down there they're drinking shimmer straight, but up there they're mixing in like fancy mixers and stuff, just taking little hits, you know. And so that's kind of like what a lot of their economy is based on, like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I like what you mentioned about the murder stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't really put that
The
together.
murder stuff, yes.
But yeah, we're gonna get like
What
banned
murder?
definitely. What
Murder.
murder?
So, yeah, we're starting to get to the end here.
Yeah.
I mean, we have obviously sort of answered the question like people ask, like, do you need to play the video game to understand the show? Not at all. I think this
No.
lives on its own. It lives and breathes. You don't not rely it on the video game. But the video game does add a little extra knowledge, or at least go to the website for League of Legends. There's a lot of lore you can read on all
I don't
the
think playing
towns
it would add
and
any
cities.
Knowledge.
There's a lot of knowledge out there, especially learning like about the other countries, I guess, around Runeterra. But it is fascinating. I'm excited to see where it heads. Before we get all that, where it could be headed after this, because I have a few predictions that are a little different from our last episode. Now that I've done a rewatch. All right, we got to pick our favorite moments.
Oh,
Quick question.
Yeah,
because I actually don't know this because I just went in blind. So are they actually making more show?
they have 3 projects in the works. We don't know what they are.
Okay.
And they did mention
Interesting.
a few, I call them countries, but other continents or whatever, other regions, there we go, that we might be visiting. Mel's on her way somewhere.
Sure.
And there's a really cool trailer that I'll send you, Josh, that is very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so favorite moments.
well, Josh, I feel like you got to lead
Oh.
because you're the freshest.
Well,
I think we kind of talked about some of them.
We went
but I
over
would
a
love to hear
couple
more.
with the battle scenes and like the slot machine arm, all that kind of stuff. The tea party for sure, crazy moment there. I think like we hinted at a little bit episode 7, season 2, right? The time one. I think definitely up there just because like you're seeing this alternate universe. Some shows do this kind of thing, I guess, a little bit, but I don't know. It was very interesting to see like what if like things worked out differently or things played out differently. Some characters are gone, some characters are happy, some are sad. So it's very interesting to see like, and of course Vi is gone in that one. But I think some of these moments with Victor towards the end are just really good. Again, like just because it's a little bit more philosophical, and so you're dealing with like,
Hey,
yeah,
well, you can finish your thought. I don't want to interrupt you, but I already have. So I'm still a little lost, not completely lost, but I have a little understanding of what I experienced, what I just watched with all of the combining of the Victor bots and everyone getting connected through the hex tech on top of the tower. I'm still unsure what came of Jason Victor and what happened. I don't know.
So at the end, we don't really know.
I'm just making sure everyone
they're
else
not dead.
is
In this universe, no one really dies. It seems like everyone's coming back.
Oh yeah, there's no
So-
murder.
Yeah.
What murder?
So it does seem like obviously like them researching hex tech, and they don't really know what they're doing. So they accidentally created some kind of biological entity that is interfaced within the Arcane, it seems like. And so it's a collective kind of consciousness. And it does seem like Victor, this is very Doctor Strange in Endgame, how he like foresaw every outcome and there's like only one outcome that
I love
they
that
could
scene.
win.
Yeah.
That scene's
It's
really
almost
good.
exactly like that because he's like basically he basically, and it actually shows you because in different universes he gives Victor or he gives Jace a different little rune crystal like every time, like it's like a slightly different. And so this is the only one, whatever that, we don't really know if even what it is. Whichever one he gives him in this one is like the only outcome where it's gonna basically disable himself essentially. And so they don't even know what it is really. That's what's, I actually kind of like this. It's under explained. They don't understand the magic. They don't understand the arcane. So it is interesting. I do think they're probably just warped somewhere. You know, they're just in some other, because it is cool. I do like how that all ties back together. I really did like how Jace was, while Echo was in that weird place, I did like how Jace was put into that alternate timeline of like that's the end of everything. And I like how by the time he gets to the tower, he could see like how it's gonna play out, like where he just was and everything. And so I don't know, it played out really interestingly. So I did like Victor's kind of moments.
I will say for me, the one of my favorite moments I kind of mentioned earlier, amidst like, yes, I love all the action. There's some amazing fight scenes and like really cool. Like I love Jinx and Vi's fight where they like, and we talked about it on our last episode, but like where they start out fighting like sisters, like almost like play fighting in a way, and it like divulges into this like guttural like rage. It's very good. But I think like I really enjoy the episode with episode 6, like I mentioned earlier, with Victor, where they're at his like commune and he like sacrifices himself to like heal, like he like it makes himself worse to like heal Vander, and you have like Vander's kind of like breakthrough with his moments. But specifically Victor's monologue, which I'm gonna read because it's like I'm a big quotes gal, so I'm gonna read this quote. I understand now the message hidden within the pattern, the reason for our failures in the commune. The doctor was right. It's inescapable. Humanity, our very essence, our emotions, our rage, compassion, hate, two sides of the same coin. Incredibly. I don't know how to say that. Bound. And I feel like that like shows a lot of the kind of like, I love things like this where it kind of like does a huge zoom out and it's like very existential, like the balance between like free will and like corruption and like fate, like all that kind of thing I think is really well like summarized and shown in that episode. So I really liked those like moments.
And it ties back into that last moment with Jace, because that basically gets referenced again, that thought process. And Jace is like, yeah, but if you take all that away, like then there's nothing left of us. Whoa, you have the cap on under too.
I was itchy. I had to.
Yeah. So it does tie back into the end where Jace's point is like, yeah, like the pain, the suffering, you know, all that kind of stuff. This is very philosophical. Where like if you take that away though, then we're nothing. We're not humans. That is what being human is. And so and that is what Victor represents at that point. It's not necessarily Victor at that point, but that's what that entity represents, is just like stripping everything away to these just souls, base souls, like entities. Very interesting.
Pluribus.
I gotta watch that.
So good.
Yes.
Kind of add that to your list next. I feel like we've all touched on some of my favorite moments, so I'll touch on another favorite moment. And it's actually the setup before the sexy gel scene. There's another gel scene right before, and I think it's really cool that this moment, and a lot of people like, and even me at first I think I'm just overwhelmed when I first watched the new season. I was like, oh, this is awesome. There's a lot of, I talked about how distracted I was with all the technical achievement of the effects and everything. But you're just sort of like also just like put in a moment. It's just very fast paced. So like for me, I didn't really notice in the moment, but a lot of people complain that, you know, the moment where Jinx is turned herself in, she's in the jail cell, when Caitlyn comes to try to like give her some food and talk to her, just talking about like, you know, they just sort of, they don't have a heart to heart, but they just sort of just put it out there, like what they're feeling. You know, Jinx is sort of just like after Isha, just that was it for her. Like at this point, she's tried to be a good person, tried to like undo some of the things she's done, and then just being faced with that happening, someone that loved her do that to save her. And then on the flip side, like Caitlyn just sort of like telling her that she can't, you know, atone for what she, there's not, and she's like just expecting Caitlyn to kill her. And then I sort of forget like some of the dialogue, but like they basically just come to the conclusion that like they're both just fucking tired and just like,
Yeah.
I'm over this.
Jinx is
And-
over it.
And she like has this like, she hears and sees Silco talk to her too, and basically comes to the same conclusion, like killing's a cycle. You just got to know when to walk away. And in that moment, like I love that progression with her, but a lot of people don't like it because like immediately after Vi like comes and gets her out of the cell, Jinx like reverses it and like locks her in. He's like, no, you gotta stop trying to save me, basically. You're gonna do it anyways. Like, I gotta force you to stop and just like take care of yourself. Like, let's just walk away from each other.
I really liked that, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, but a lot of people don't like it because like after that, you know, we get to the Caitlyn and Vi scene where they also say, fuck it, let's fuck. So, because like everyone's just like tired, you know, like in the moment, like of everything that's just happened, and then they're about to go to war. You know, that's just where those characters are at. But people don't like it because like obviously we as viewers we can sort of feel where Jinx is at, but like those characters, like, you know, Vi had to be forced to make a decision for herself because she's always been a protector. I mean, that was ingrained in her from Vander from the start. Like, she has to protect the family. And since she's failed that, it's been her whole arc, just trying to do the right thing and save Jinx. But I enjoyed that transition. I love the fact, and I'll talk about the sexy scene. I thought it was great because it like mirrored their first interaction, which was the same episode. It's episode 8 of season 2. It's the same episode, or not the same episode. It mirrors like whatever episode they meet for the first time. Like, because Vi is in the prison cell, like punching the wall. And in this scene, she's once again in the jail cell punching the wall. So that was like some of the reasoning of why, because everybody like, why are they in a dirty jail cell? You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
gross.
I think this is the fancy jail cell at like Caitlyn's house. So I feel like this is underneath her house, not the one that Vi was actually in. But I thought that was sort of cool, like how it mirrors their first meeting each other. So that was cool. That sort of made me sort of because I also was in the vein of like, man, they could do this anywhere else. This is dirty.
It's like Last of Us Part 2.
I hope everyone washed their hands. You
yeah,
know,
like
probably
Last of
didn't.
Us.
Well, no, that's not the same. I do think it kind of shows they're like, they are kind of at the end of their like they're at their wits end. They're like, you know, they've had this will they won't they kind of like back and forth, like different people having their different motivations, but at this point they're both are just kind of like at their breaking point, and they're like, you know, and I think that's why to me it fits and it makes sense. Like, I've never had an issue with it being placed here, because I also like, I just think that for their character arcs, like, it makes sense. And I mean, like, it's not like it's like a super long drawn out like thing. It's like pretty brief.
Yeah.
But
people
now
still
Josh
wanted this scene and wanted a longer uncut scene that actually
isn't
doesn't
there
exist.
one? There's one.
There's a longer storyboard, but it's pretty much the same thing. There's not,
Well,
you know.
I think too, they have such an interesting relationship, like with a lot of times they're not spent together, and there's a lot of time jumps in these seasons. So a lot of times they're like almost enemies. So it's kind of interesting.
Enemies to lovers.
Sense.
They did,
now, Josh, we can send you the memes with the "you really think I need all of the gods at the hex gates?"
Yeah.
In the like there's like a bunch of.
Did you see
like,
it coming,
edits.
Josh? Did you see it coming? What did you think when you saw
Eventually,
the scene?
no, I didn't know. I knew there had to be some kind of lesbian something in here.
What,
I thought it was gonna be
why?
Jinx.
Why? Did
Well,
you
you
think
know,
that, Josh?
you know,
Because
I
like, Jerica really
knew.
likes this show.
Yeah. I thought it was
You
Jinx.
saw that
I thought it was gonna
moment.
be Jinx.
Saw that
I
moment,
could
you're
get it from
"Aha."
Vi. I actually didn't know it was gonna be Caitlyn until a little later. So I get like, I don't know when, but you can see the chemistry, the weird chemistry between them.
Yes.
But I actually liked, as far as like the romance aspect, I thought it was good, like the build up, and like she's like his enemies to lovers, like
Well, they won't.
because it's really good, because about the time you think they're not even to the point where they could be like lovers, but to the point like, do they even hate each other? Do they even like each other? And then it's like, oh, something else happens, and they're flipped. And like I was saying before, like they're kind of flipping their roles a lot. So
But I
Yeah.
think that's what makes
thought it was
them
good.
so like compatible, and it makes them so interesting because they're just from totally different situations.
Yeah.
God,
Different lives.
I will cut off my pinky toe just to have just a show with just them like solving the crime and
Yeah.
being
yeah.
cops. It'd be so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It'd be so entertaining.
Last
Um,
cool scene that I forgot about too is shortly after that when Jinx is like basically going to give up, and then Echo stops her like multiple times with the
yeah, like
rewind
That was
shot.
cool.
And
Yeah.
another moment, another nonverbal moment where she's keeps trying to blow herself up and he's reversing, but she looks at she didn't realize is like what is going on. She doesn't freak out about it, but she looks and she sees the little monkeys in his thing because the other version of her helped him
mhm.
build it, you know.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know what's going on or the story, but she sees that and like she can see this expression where she's kind of intrigued. Very interesting.
Yeah, I liked that part too. That was another really good one. There's so many good ones. Good
Did you
stuff.
know the show is what defined them as sisters? Because in the game they're not sisters, but now they are. Like this,
Okay.
I did
Arcane brought
know
know.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty
I
fun
didn't
little
know.
ad. Yeah, they made that. This is part of the story now, so that's it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that was cool. It's cool.
I did know that they made like some stuff canon that wasn't necessarily like canon before, which I think is cool
Yeah.
to like go out on a
Yeah,
limb
they
like
changed
that.
it up and they added because a lot of the characters didn't necessarily look like they look like in the show, but then they retroactively added Arcane skins to
Of
League of
course they
Legends.
did, and they're like
Yeah.
$100. They're really expensive.
And you finally got the Fortnite ones too, Jerica, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Finally,
Yeah.
they
Oh my
came
gosh.
back. Got those,
Yeah.
snapped them right up. Really bummed we can't get updated skins, but I'll take
Yeah.
whatever I can get. All right, y'all. Did y'all see the very end where Jinx escaped? She's alive, y'all.
So
Josh, did you catch
there's
that?
There's a scene with Caitlyn. Yeah, she's hyperfixated looking through the plans of
With
where
her
Jinx
one eye
falls.
now. She's a
Yeah.
sniper.
Yeah,
How
very
did she
cool,
get-
yeah.
At least
a
she's got a
baddie.
good. She's got her
It's
good
okay.
eye left.
That probably makes you better because then you just have
Yeah.
better one eye vision.
Oh, that's
Um,
true.
Yeah, it'll make your one eye stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
she's looking at the plans, and then she saw like where there could be like escape hatch, and she kind of like chuckles to herself or whatever. Of course, well, I don't. That's another thing because like I assume she wasn't dead just because like she's in League of Legends, which is later timeline, but I don't know how the timelines work if we're in universes and timelines. Like I don't
Yeah.
know like
They
what
can
the
make
game
whatever
and
they
the
want.
I
show.
don't think
like
they
I don't
really know either. Yeah.
Yeah. So I assume she's not just because, like I said, most of the characters don't end up dying, even though they fake you out multiple times.
Yeah, I think that they could, in my opinion, what I would want, and now I know we're kind of talking about like future state stuff. I am comfortable if they leave it like this, with this specific like arc. Like, I mean, I think it would be cool to like visit like Vi and Kate like in a different like setting with like what they
Yeah.
do and like their roles. But I don't think we need necessarily more of them like all as a unit. Like, but I do think I definitely want and know we are getting more of this world. But I would be happy if like I think it came to enough of a conclusion that I would be happy with where it's at.
Because
I mean,
I don't
if-
think Heimdinger's dead either. He's just
Yeah.
disappeared right now. But like none of these people are dead.
Well, it has been confirmed that no Arcane season 3 for now, ... But new regions, new stories, the upcoming shows will explore different parts of League of Legends world, expanding to possibly Noxus, Ionia, and Demacia.
So there might be a show, but it might not be called Arcane. It might be a different visual style or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's connected to what has happened
Correct.
here in Piltover and Zon. And I definitely
Yeah.
can see I guarantee 100% we see some characters from the show again in other shows,
Oh, yeah.
especially Mel.
I think so.
After
Yeah.
seeing
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
that trailer I'm gonna send you later for like
Okay.
a League of Legends thing, that's really
Yeah.
cool. I also believe wherever we go next is where Jinx is heading on the ship. I think we catch up with her again. I think if any returning character, it's going to be Jinx and Echo. I think
Forgot
we
to
can
mention
definitely
that scene. That was also
Yeah.
a great scene.
and I also think there's a probability that we could put, if they wanted to run further into what we've experienced with Arcane and not call it Arcane season 2, but have some blending to what's happening currently in Piltover Zon, would be the other Jinx from the other alternate universe figures out like how to find this
That'd
Echo
be
that she just
Ah.
met, because like in the drawer when she's like putting the little doll of Vi on the counter, she's got a whole little bag of those crystals, hex
Yeah,
tech
yeah,
crystals, and she just
yeah.
did all
Yeah,
that research with Echo.
That would be
Like
fun.
she knows how to do that again. She knows how to go and find him.
That was very intentionally shown for sure. I remember seeing that, but
It's a good setup for something they
Yeah.
could use. Yeah.
So
yeah.
who's to say what could
Who's to say?
happen? But I'm excited. I'm so excited for whatever they do next.
And we'll be here for it.
We will. We'll be seated and shimmered up, babies.
Oh yeah, hold on. Hold on.
God.
Now listen. Listen. Betsy didn't send us over here to not sing happy birthday to
Oh,
our
God.
girl Jerk.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Happy birthday.
Wow. Is that Marilyn Monroe like version of this song?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's all. I mean, that I could hear y'all through the screen perfectly.
Happy birthday. Yeah, Betsy said, we just had some stuff to take care of here, and I'm glad that you had a good birthday, Jerica. I'm glad this Josh guy really enjoyed this arcade show, and I enjoyed it. It was good.
It was fun. I hope we get to do it again.
Yeah. Buford, you got anything?
yeah.
Last words?
I
Last
really enjoyed
words.
it. Thanks for encouraging me. Yeah, and I need a good deadline. So I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I watched
Josh
it.
loves a deadline.
Yeah, I love a deadline.
This
Well,
was
I'm gonna
really
leave-
fun revisiting it. With
I'm
you
gonna leave
guys.
y'all with the cliffhanger, especially Josh. I played a little Chrono Trigger and Mario Galaxy on my birthday. We'll have to
Oh.
talk about that on the next episode of JK Games.
Nice.
Maybe the week after. I know. I can't remember when I got out of town.
Nice. Okay.
Oh yeah, Jerica's missing next week, so Josh and I are going to
Yes.
be doing some streams.
Is it next
collabs.
week? Yeah, I
Yes.
don't know. I don't know why I'm asking
Yes.
about the schedule live on a show.
Oh, it's
I'm
okay.
always lost with what's happening and when I'm going places. Anywho,
But we're going to be doing some fun stuff, so definitely keep your eyes peeled. Be in the Discord. Follow along. We'll tell you guys more about what we're doing later, but we'll be doing something, so don't skip out. But Jerica's gonna be having fun in Disney World for the first time.
well, I
Ooh.
sort of got some things wrong. What's new? We're going to Epic Universe, but we also are
Oh.
going to Disney. But we're staying at the new
Oh.
hotel at Epic Universe.
I know which one. It looks cool. Yeah.
We can like walk out to
Whoa.
the park. I had no
Yep.
clue.
Cool.
Got
Oh my
some-
gosh.
I haven't really read the instructions on what we're doing yet. I
You're gonna
finally
love
did
it.
that recently. I was like, oh, okay. Now I really know what I'm doing on this trip.
I went there during preview, but not everything was open.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what you have to say. And you're gonna have to like take photos, take us along, bring back some memories that we can
I'm
discuss.
gonna meet Donkey Kong, so DK's there. I want to touch his
Mhm.
fur.
That's gonna
Okay.
be really
You
fun.
can- yeah.
But all right, y'all, we're gonna raid Jake Twitchin on our way out, so y'all stick around for a minute. He's playing Fable 2, Jerica.
Oh God,
Um,
iconic game. I'm jealous. I want to play Fable 2.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye. everyone.
Bye. Give me 6 seconds. Hold on. Bye. Okay.